Avalanche in Nashville for the final time this regular season, and fourth time overall. The Avalanche holding the season series lead 2-1. All right, let's look at the Ford starting lineup, and we shall, as we always do, start with the goaltenders tonight.
And Mike, when they're healthy, this is one of the best matchups in the National Hockey League. Very fortunately for the Avalanche, Semyon Varlamov, very healthy, playing very well, solid against the Boston Bruins. At the other end, Pekka Rinne, Mike, this is the reason, 52 games that he missed is the reason that Nashville, who's so good when he's in net, Mike, is not in the playoff picture, or is at least right now way out of the playoff picture. He's coming off a solid game against the Blackhawks, 29 shots, 29 saves. Not very often, Mike, you blank the Blackhawks in Chicago.
Not very often the Avalanche get blanked, but they're coming off a game in which they didn't score a goal as well, losing 2-0 to Boston. You have to go back to Friday night, last time that the Avalanche played a game. So some days off for Colorado, ready to get back at it with 11 games left in the regular season. They find themselves here tonight on a Tuesday evening in Nashville against the Predators, and we have begun play. Bouncing puck comes around the boards. You look at the rest of the Ford lineup and the line combinations for the Colorado Avalanche. For the Avalanche, a couple of healthy scratches tonight. That would be a defenseman Nate Gennin, defenseman Nate Gennin, and the other defenseman scratch tonight would be Ryan Wilson. With the Avalanche out with injuries, John Mitchell did not accompany the Avs on this one-game road trip, and according to Coach Watt, it's a day-to-day situation. He's the only one that has a short-term injury, and the others that are out long-term and probably won't see for the rest of the regular season. With the puck, Nashville Predators coming out of their own zone. Pass up ice, led down the far side wing and brought in, and the Preds get a chance, and Varlamov is able to make the save. Back towards the point, Shea Weber with a chance, and Varlamov, with Bork standing right in front of him, was able to make the save.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, Mike, this is exactly what they have to do if they're going to create offense. There are 30 teams in the National Hockey League. There are 14 in the Western Conference. They've scored the fewest goals of any club in the Western Conference. Only the Buffalo Sabres have scored fewer this year. So you got to get pucks to the net. You got to have people in front of the goaltender, Varlamov, and you've got to battle.
And you got a guy like Shea Weber shooting the puck. Got a chance for either rebounds or just simply going in. He's been their leading scorer this season. And for Weber, 18 goals, 10 of them coming on the power play. But a total of just 46 points leading this team. And that is not a lot of points to lead a club. As you said, Peter, offensively, it's been a tough year for the Nashville Predators. Right now sit with a record of 31-10 and 72 points, and last in the Central Division. We got an icing call on Nashville. They're early in the first period with no score.
Well, for Patrick Waugh and the Avalanche, they're taking nothing for granted. You know, we've been talking about them in the playoffs, but they know there's magic numbers involved about getting ahead of Dallas and Phoenix and making that last playoff spot for sure. For Barry Trotz, it's been a trying year. This is the longest tenured coach in the National Hockey League, and this has been his longest season, I'm sure.
It's amazing, Peter. 550 wins in his career as head coach of the Nashville Predators. That's 13th all time. Bouncing puck in this. Now, certainly the early years when they were an expansion franchise, trying to get it going, but boy, this has been one of the more difficult years for Coach Trotz, but still has some playoff hopes. But his team basically almost has to run the table as Rinne holds onto the puck on that shot by Nick Holden. And we'll have another face-off this time in the Nashville zone. There he is, head coach Barry Trotz, 550 wins in his career.
I'm talking to Phil Housley, first-year assistant coach for these Nashville Predators, and he was saying what a great job. He said he's been unbelievable watching Barry Trotz handle all the injuries and all of the situations. There he is, Phil Housley. Mike, I'll make my claim right now. He's the best player not in the Hall of Fame right now. He was spectacular. He was a Buffalo Sabre draft choice out of high school. First time he saw him skate, I was stunned.
And you have to, when you look at the list, Peter, of all-time great American-born players,
oh yeah,
has to be considered.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good. When Teemu Selanne came in, remember the year they had Selanne at 76 points? It was Housley on the back end that was feeding him for those breakaways.
Back to get to the puck. Pass by Eric Johnson over towards Jan Hayda. Slides it over to Stastny. Good to see Stastny back in the lineup. Did not play in the game against the Boston Bruins. Or excuse me, the game against the Winnipeg Jets in that road trip, but came back into the lineup. So good to see Paul staying in the lineup after missed some games with an injury. And a key factor for the Avalanche here during this stretch run with 11 games left, including tonight. McKinnon trying to flip the puck towards Stastny. Had it broken up, chipped up, and the puck is out of play. We got a whistle with 16:38 to go in the first period. No score between the Preds and the Avs.
Good look at Corey Sarge, Mike. The Avalanche are starting to put together their playoff roster. There's just no question about it. Sarge, who is that one defenseman for the Avalanche who actually has some playoff experience. You know, of course, we've talked a lot about the fact that he won a Stanley Cup, but he's been through it. Benoit, now he's going to be, looks like his partner, and you start, Mike, really angling towards the team you want.
A steal, and the puck brought in by Craig Smith. Shot finds the glass, comes rolling around, back to the point. Josi shoots and scores! And it's 1-0 for the Nashville Predators. A long shot from the point. We'll look at the replay to see if it was tipped, but Roman Josi, if it wasn't, redirected with his 10th goal of the season.
And he is Weber's partner. He plays a lot of hockey, very unheralded. He's not a great big guy, but he is strong, and he fired a BB right there. I just think Varley was completely screened on the play as the puck comes through a whole bunch of bodies. Oh, it actually, Mike, it may have skipped on Varlamov as it came through, because he acted as something happened to the puck.
Peter Josi, the last game for Nashville, while Shea Weber was playing 34 minutes that night, he played over 32 minutes, and that was a game that ended in regulation.
And in Chicago, as we well know, Mike, the tempo was fast. It's a quick game, and you really have to be in great shape to do that.
So it's 1-0 in favor of the Nashville Predators here in the first period of play. Colin Wilson skating out to center ice, makes the pass, and then over the line, cutting in, Smalling shoots, tipped, and that one went wide. Another chance for the Nashville Predators. Back out to center, the puck shot in by McLeod as he gets to the red line, back into the Nashville end.
Mike, what happened there was an Avalanche defenseman fell down, gave him a quick 3-on-1.
Behind the net, Malone centers, and the puck comes all the way down the ice, back into the Avalanche end, and Varlamov out to meet the puck. Turned around the wall. Nashville trying to hold the puck in play. It comes free. Avs have got it. Eric Johnson makes the pass across to the far face-off circle. And his defensive partner, Jan Hejda, right up the middle. A tip by Bordeleau. Sends the puck into the Nashville end. Immediately Klang back out to center ice. Scooped ahead. Blocked by Holden. Malone has it. He goes shoulder to shoulder. And the puck comes free. All right, let's make it official. Our Subway scoring summary. It is Roman Josi with the goal, his 10th of the season. And Gabriel Bourque and Craig Smith getting the assist. And it is a 1-0 lead for the Nashville Predators. The Avalanche, Peter, they played 5.5 minutes here in the first period. They're still looking for their first shot on net. All right, let's review this. Let's see how this one went in, because this is a long shot by Josi, and it wasn't tipped. How did this go in?
You see it's rolling right there, and it just skips. It just skips on Varlamov. But I think on top of that, it went through a couple of players as far as a screen. So you've got a puck you can't see, and it skips. Not a good combination for a goalie.
Smashed around the boards by Hejda. Kick towards the corner. Patrick Hornqvist, 14 goals this season for Nashville. Centering try. Zipped all the way back towards the point. Matthias Ekholm threw it around for Nashville. Well, they're missing some players with injuries in this game. Mike Fisher moves the puck across down the slot. Hornqvist with a shot. It bounced up in the air and knocked back behind the net. Out is Seth Jones, the highly touted rookie defenseman. Also Paul Gaustad, their big centerman, who's so terrific on the faceoffs, and they're also missing Patrick Eaves. All three out to the lineup tonight for Nashville. Steal by the Avs, flip past the center ice, stolen back by Hornqvist, and he'll lift the puck as it flutters towards the corner into the Colorado zone. Sarch had the puck squeezed free around the wall to the near side. And the puck lifted out to center. O'Reilly challenged at center ice, makes the handoff to the defenseman. Benoit dropped it over to McGinn. Shot, and that one clanged off the post. Does not count as a shot on net. So the Avalanche have gone nearly 7 minutes here in this first period and do not have a shot on goal, although they just hit the post.
But Benoit, what a nice job. That was a 2-on-2 that was going nowhere. He made it a 3-on-2. McGinn had a good scoring chance.
The Yossi's goal coming at 3:33. Even strength goal for Nashville. They lead at 1-0 here in the first period of play. O'Reilly taken away from the puck. Shut in by Smith. Goes wide of the net. Chased down by Bourque. Poke checked away. Holden for the Avalanche over towards McGinn. The puck worked free. Pushed back behind the Avalanche net. Predators have got it passed in front by Wilson. Goes wide. Boy, did he do some hard work behind the net to get that puck and get a scoring chance.
Yeah, for Wilson, we can't figure out what's going on. He hasn't scored in 32 games against the Avalanche. In a game earlier this year, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and plays like that.
He looks like an all-star against the Avalanche. Colorado with the puck in the slot, moving in. Johnson's chance goes up high. Back to the corner. Puck freed up behind the net. Talbot centers, blocked. Talbot chases the puck back to the point towards Hayda, and the puck slides out to center ice. Hayda on it, makes the pass to the red line for Talbot. Twirls back into his own zone, has to twist back again. 12 minutes left in the first. 1-0 lead for the Preds. A hit on Cleach by Del Zotto, and the puck goes into the Nashville zone, handled by Stallberg. They'll skate out to center ice. Moving ahead over the line with the puck coming down the slot, trying to cut across. Bouncing puck centered, and it's still free at the side of the net. Malone's got it for the Avalanche. Brought out towards center ice. Bordelot to his left. Dumped in. Rene will handle the puck. Predators goaltender threw it back into the corner, rolled up the boards, flipped back towards the point for Benoit. Shoots it down the wall. Malone collides in the corner. A little help from Bordelot to free up the puck. Tip back to the half boards. Intercepted, pushed ahead by Rich Clune, who leads the Predators in penalty minutes. And the puck flipped into the corner by Nashville, who makes the line change. Avalanche doing the same as well. From behind the net, Corey Sarch, headman pass. McKinnon throws the puck down the ice. That's going to result in an icing call. We get a whistle with 10:55 remaining in the first. Nashville leading the Avs 1-0.
Now, for the Nashville Predators, this is a return home after 4 games on the road, Mike, that spoke volumes about their season.
And 7 out of 8 have been on the road of their last games.
But they look at the last 4, Mike. They lost at Edmonton, 5-1. They lost at Vancouver. Then they go into Calgary, who's been red hot. Well, they win 6-5, and then to cap it off with a 2-0 win in Chicago. So they're a 500 road trip, losing against maybe somebody you thought they were going to beat, and beating someone you thought they might lose to.
You look at, you go, oh, when you see that they've lost 5 in a row at home, but they played 7 of the last 8 on the road. They've won 2 in a row. They've won 5 of their last 8 games. So it's a team that knows they've got to battle every single night for wins if they've got any chance for a wild card spot.
Yeah, they're going to need help, but the only help you can take care of is what you're doing with that game you're playing tonight.
Stastny cruising in. He shoots, and Rene makes the save. And there is the first shot of the game for the Avs. It took just about 9.5 minutes. Rene made the save on Stastny. Nashville has a 1-0 lead. All right, let's see who is in the Groove. Brought to you by Groove Subaru. Shea Weber. Well, you know what? Lost his defensive partner a couple of years ago, Ryan Suter, but boy, has he been playing well.
And you see, the only NHL player with 100 hits, 100 block shots, and 10-plus goals. And he's well on his way, Mike, to 150 block shots, 150 hits, and 20 goals, which is an extraordinary season for a defenseman.
As when the draw back to the point, Johnson's shot, and that caromed off the leg of defenseman Ryan Ellis. Bounced ahead. Predators move out towards center ice with the puck. Bounced back into the Avalanche zone. Pass up the middle, giving away a chance, and Varlamov came way out of the net and deflected that one away. All of a sudden, the Predators with a golden opportunity. And for the Avalanche, thank goodness for Varlamov and his aggressiveness coming out of the net.
Oh, this is for the Avalanche, Mike. You know, you can say, oh, they're a little rusty after 3 days off. They're just not playing well. There have been 2 or 3, odd man rushes for the Nashville Predators. They're just a flat giveaway on a situation. Now, if Varley doesn't make the 2 big saves, we're the Avalanche looking at a 3-0 hole in this first period.
They've been outshot 7-1 so far in the game. Josi shot through traffic. He scores! It is 2-0. Roman Josi, what a period of hockey he's having. That's his second goal from the defenseman. Again, we'll check to see if it was tipped. There were bodies in front of Varlamov, but I think that one went in clean.
And Mike, we talked about it right at the top. How is Nashville going to score? Well, put the puck on net, especially from the defenseman, and to have people in front of the net. And they're doing a terrific job. He walks the line a little bit, knows he can't take the big slap shot, just that quick wrist shot from the point. Good angle of it right here. And again, Varlamov just, and you can't see it, Mike. You can't stop it. And that's what Nashville's doing real well right now.
Dumped in from center ice by Weber. Puck rolls around the boards. Chip back behind the net. Benoit chases it down. Pass tipped in the air by Weber. Drops down to the ice. Tipped back into the corner. Benoit after it. Swept it around the boards. Sarge pass up the middle. Then tipped out to center ice. Backing up into his own zone. Defenseman with the puck. Josi pass across for Weber. Weber patient, waiting for the forwards to make a change. Through the middle for Spaulding. Over the line for Wilson, cutting in. And waves the puck around, back behind the net. Work to the corner. Avalanche get a hold of the puck. Benoit with the puck. There you go. There's your Subway scoring summary. Josi, his second goal, 11th of the season, coming at 9:49. So apparently not tipped on its way in, and Josi, the young defenseman, with a couple of goals here in the first period of play. The Avalanche finding themselves down to 11 minutes of play and with only 1 shot on net. With the puck, Del Zotto, former New York Ranger, shoots the puck across. And it's sent down the ice. No icing. Varlamov will have to come out and have to handle the puck. Sends it around the glass. It's knocked down. Then back to the point. Weber with a drive. That's knocked down. It's got by Bourque. Back to the point for Josi. Slid across for Weber. Wrist shot bouncing in the slot. And is turned towards the far side wall. Predators trying to keep the puck in the zone. They did for a moment. Tipped back out to center. And Josi will hammer it back into the Avalanche zone. On it, Johnson for Colorado. He makes the forward pass. Brought by Duchesne in. Cutting across. Gets a shot that whistles wide to the net. Josi's got it for Nashville. Works his way into the corner. Pass up off the boards. Cross ice. And over the line for Fisher. He's met. Challenged along the boards by Holden. Fisher has the puck. Looking to make a play. Back to the point. Shot. And the glove save made on by Varlamov on Ryan Ellis's shot. Roman Josi, what a first period. A couple of goals, his 10th and 11th of the season. 2-0 Preds. The Avalanche win tonight. The CSU Global application fee will be waived tomorrow. CSU Global is the 100% online university. You can earn your bachelor's or master's degree. Apply now at csuglobal.edu.
Well, the Nashville Predators, they've had good success against the Colorado Avalanche, especially here in Nashville, Mike. And you look at that 7 wins. That's the last game the Avalanche played here. They won 5-4, but they were at 5-1 late in the third period. Remember that one?
Crazy.
That was one of the wildest finishes we've seen.
It really was. Fisher curling in the corner with the puck. Pass back towards the point. Slid across for Ellis. Down the wall, Hornquist chips it back behind the net. Johnson rolls it up the far side. Kept in play along the far wing by Ekholm. Out to center ice, and Ellis for Nashville. Slams the puck into the Colorado zone. Good off at the half boards by Johnson. The puck squeezed free. Kept in by Fisher for Nashville. Shoots it to the corner. Behind the net. Hornquist handles the puck back to the point. Ekholm. His shot slowed up. And it directs across to the near face-off circle, handled by Landeskog. Then the pass up the wing and across for Landeskog. Gets into the center ice with the puck. As he reaches the blue line, shoots it into the Nashville end, handled by Rene. The goaltender for Nashville sent it around the wall. Sarge holds it in, pass behind. Bordalo checked off the puck. Back into the corner. And behind the net, Nashville on the move. Flip back behind for Del Zotto. And he shoots the puck out in the center. Will land in the center circle. Tipped. Back by Benoit. Kicked along the boards by Sissons. And behind the net in the Colorado zone. Stallberg sends it back up the wall. Got it blocked. Paul Carey of the Avalanche back in the lineup for the Avs. Along the end boards with the puck. Stallberg right into the referee. Gets the puck back. Coming up the boards. Makes the handoff on the near side. The centering pass picked off. Avalanche have got it. Malone lobs the puck ahead. Knocked down. And played across for Bartley. He'll skate to center ice. Got in from center by Victor Bartley into the Colorado zone.
Nashville's playing an incredibly crisp game right now. They're on the puck every chance. There's good support, good passing. They're playing a very good period of hockey.
Jay Weber makes a pass for Josi. His 2 goals have given Nashville the lead. Working his way in towards the corner, still with the puck. Slapped away by Tyson Barrie. Played behind the net. Flipped towards the far side corner. Jarnkrok dropped the puck in the corner. Jarnkrok in his 3rd NHL game. He's had a point in his first 2 NHL games. And Barry Trotz likes what he has seen so far from the young player. Tyson Barrie for the Avs with 5 minutes remaining in the first period. A 2-0 lead for Nashville. Rene shoot the puck around the boards. Pass up for Wilson. Got by him. And the puck goes all the way down the ice. Nashville is called for icing.
Well, for the Colorado Avalanche, we mentioned that the last time that they were here in Nashville. And Nick Holden, Mike, he had a game for the ages as far as a defenseman. 2 goals and assists, +3, and 9 hits in that game. That's a great line score for any player.
It's one of those games where he really cemented himself as a guy who's going to be a key player for the Avalanche. He had been healthy scratch a number of times, kind of in and out of the lineup, but that game really seemed to solidify things for him.
Yeah, now in his 44th game of the season, you see 8 goals in the first 43. Again, talking with Patrick Waugh, you're talking with Joe Sakic. They love his offensive upside. He has been terrific for the Avalanche, maybe especially on the power play.
Holden's got a couple of power play goals this season. Rene shoots the puck around the boards. Avalanche doing their best to try to hold it in. It slips out to center, batted back to lay offside on the Avs. Pass across by Del Zotto, and then out towards center ice. Avalanche going to steal the puck back. Pass down the ice. Unconnected for the Avalanche. Results in an icing call.
Well, Mike, for the Colorado Avalanche, we talked about it. Every game now, you're looking at, and who is this game more important to? This is more important to Nashville because they got to stay in the playoffs. And so you have to learn how to play inside of those games because that is really the whole idea for the Avalanche now is just you've got to play your game and understand who the opponent is going to be. The next game is going to be against Vancouver. Same situation as Nashville.
Lundqvist circles the net. Bounce pass back to the point. Josi with a chance. That time Varlamov makes the save. Well, there's a screen right in front of him. Josi, with his 2nd career multi-goal game, has given the Nashville the 2-0 lead. Did you know? Brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. Which teams played the longest game in NHL history? March 24th into the 25th back in 1936 was the C1 Detroit and Montreal, C2 Toronto and Boston, or C3 Chicago and the New York Americans. There's a couple of teams you may not recognize, the Montreal Maroons and the New York Americans. Face-off in the Avalanche zone, 2-0 lead for Nashville. And they get the win on the draw. Shot through traffic. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Still there. Just sitting shot. Oh, my. And it's chopped wide. Picked up by Snasty. Played back behind the net. I think the Avalanche are almost fortunate. They're not down 4 or 5-0 here in the first period.
Varley has made a couple saves on shots that he's been able to see where he's moved up, been aggressive. Big time saves up top. And for the Avalanche right now, they just have to find a way to get things going in Nashville's zone.
And the puck, one-timer by McKinnon, sails wide of the net. And it caromed off the shelf and then goes over the glass, out of play.
Well, for Semyon Varlamov, he still has, Mike, to me, the most unusual record this year with 35 shots or more. When you pepper the Avalanche and you get 35 plus shots, Varley is 17-1-3. And you look at his record against the Predators, 4-1 in his last 5 games against the Predators.
Del Zotto whips the puck up the boards. Brought in offside by the Avs. 3:19 left to go in the period.
Well, if you're the Colorado Avalanche, the one thing that you know that you have done all season, you've been able to score goals. It's one of the few clubs, 6 as a matter of fact, that average 3+ goals a game. So it's Mike, you just battle through it. It's one thing to be up here talking about, okay, they're not playing too well. Well, down there, you got to turn it around. You got to find something to go in the right direction.
Gorlo, Carey, Malone. They've been getting some ice time here in this first period. This line, 3 minutes left to go in the period. Preds have the puck. Victor Stalberg to center ice into the Colorado zone. Trying to go wide on Barry. Pulls up. Barry going to tie him up against the boards. Flicked it into the corner for Clune. Sissons has the puck for Nashville. Pass across and tipped in the last moment. Kept in though by Del Zotto. Clune pass back to the point. Mortley's shot. Bouncer! Oh my! What a save by goaltender Semyon Varlamov. Spectacular. Flipped it off the glass by Nashville.
That was tipped down. They're just putting it on net right now. And they're doing a good job of it. That was tipped down. It's going back the other way. He was able to stretch back and make that save.
Absolutely amazing. Steal by Wilson. Handoff, shot, and it's blocked in front. Sent up off the glass. Kept in by Nashville. Avalanche, though, regained possession. Avs still with 1 shot on net. We played 18 minutes in the first period. Steal by McLeod. Tipped the puck to the corner. Quick pass, up ice for Spaulding. Lead pass to center. Wilson over the line. Winding, shooting, and missing is Josi. He's already got 2 goals, and he just had another golden opportunity from behind the net. Nystrom with the puck for Nashville. Works along the end board. Back to Nystrom. Cuts in front and shoots it wide of the net. Weber holds it in. Pass and it flicks out in front, and Varlamov just dives on top of the puck to stop the Nashville momentum.
Let's go back and look at the tip, but more importantly, watch Semyon Varlamov, the goaltender at the bottom of the screen. Here comes the puck. It's tipped. He's going one way, and he's able, Mike, to reach back. It's going to his left. He's able to reach back and go to his right to make the save. And here's Nystrom walking out of the corner. This is something that Nashville has done so well in this period. Battle down low, win battles, and get to the front of the net.
Seems like, Peter, they've won a lot of one-on-ones along the boards.
Absolutely.
Landeskog chips the puck in for Nathan MacKinnon. Rolled around the wall. Disappointing tonight, Peter. We're not seeing MacKinnon against Jones. Seth Jones, their fine young defenseman. In his first year in the National Hockey League. MacKinnon sprinting in. Cuts around. Deeps behind the net. And the puck tied up. Decides MacKinnon still with the puck. Makes the pass in front. Here's a chance. And scored! Wow! What a shot by Landeskog. And it's a 2-1 hockey game. Just like that, on the second shot of the period, the last minute, they get a goal that can perhaps change the tide of this game.
Absolutely, Mike. But when you watch this, there's the speed of MacKinnon. Look at the number of Nashville Predators that are watching him. They're all pulled down to him. He's coming so fast in behind the net. Now all of a sudden, you got guys staring at the puck. No one is watching. Nice pass by Stastny, but no one watches Landeskog float through the middle. And what did we, Mike, what did we talk about leadership? Landeskog right there. Comes up with a big goal. So instead of being down by 2 and dominated, okay, you're a play away from tying this game up.
An outshot 13-2, but you're only down by 1. There's 40 seconds to go in the period. And again, we always talk about the fact that Varlamov makes saves that keeps you in games. And he certainly did that, even though 2 long shots got by him as O'Reilly moves into the zone. fakes the shot, then shoots. Rene makes the save, but he still made a number of saves and have kept the Avalanche close and give him the chance. 10 seconds to go in the period. Fired out to center by Weber. Holden will take the puck. So Landeskog from Stastny and McKinnon at 19:06. And so only this second shot of the game for the Avs coming in the last minute, but it gives the Avs a much better feeling going to the locker room after being outplayed. I guess that's fair to say in the first 19 minutes.
Absolutely. But what it does, Mike, you walk in there, okay, now you give yourself a little slap upside the head. Each player's just got to go, wait a minute, that's just not good enough. But it's not 3-0. It's a one-goal game, and that's what you're looking at. Varley, thanks very much. Now it's our turn to play hard in the second period.
If the Avalanche can get it rolling now after that Landeskog goal. A couple of goals from Roman Josi, the defenseman for Nashville. It's 2-1 in favor of the Preds. Stay tuned for the Toyota Intermission Report. Nashville leads the Avs 2-1, but a late goal by the Avalanche in the final minute of the first period, giving Colorado a little momentum to go into the second period. But this could be a completely different score, more in favor of Nashville. It wasn't for the outstanding saves of Semyon Varlamov during that period.
One bounced, another was deflected. And those are the two goals that got by him. The 8 of the shots they had, 8 of them came from defensemen for the Nashville Predators. There's Hornquist, but one of his 2 really good chances in that period. Semyon Varlamov was not just a good goaltender, he was a great athlete for the Colorado Avalanche in that first period. A couple of just, saving saves in the sense that it saved a situation where McKinnon, the rookie, could make a play down low. Nice pass by Stastny, nice pass by Landeskog. But it was the speed of McKinnon off the rush that got everybody looking and going the wrong way. But the captain Landeskog comes up with a big one for the Colorado Avalanche. But right there, Mike, I bet you, just guessing, there were several guys that went by Semyon Varlamov and patted him on the pad and said, okay, thank you. We're in this because of you. And let's go out and play a much better second period for the Avalanche.
And for the Avalanche, Cleach has his line out to start things with McLeod and Talbot as the wingers, Johnson and Hayden the defenseman. And we start our second period of play. Nashville with a puck in the Avs zone. Centered shot. And that rising chance by Spaulding misses high. Back around the wall and behind the net. Chased down to the corner by Eric Johnson of Colorado. The puck freed up. Pass to the side. Scooped by Hayda into the corner. And McLeod trying to chip it out, but held in at the point by Del Zotto. Pass back behind the net. Nystrom threw to the side, and the Avs skate shot. Oh, that got blocked by Cleach. Then took a spill after getting hit by Spaulding. Pass behind the net. Well, Nashville starting strong to begin this second period.
I guess they didn't pat Varley on the pads.
Well, they did, but they didn't seem to change much here to start the second period. If the Avalanche now can get something going as McLeod dumps the puck in, comes off the glass. Cleach picks up, throws the puck to McKinnon. His pass intercepted. Pass by Wilson up ice. Gabriel Bourque moving in. Trying to get wide around Benoit. Surrounded. The puck comes free. And the Avalanche have got it. McKinnon makes the handoff. Benoit pass up ice. Landeskog. He scored his 22nd goal of the season in 1906 in the first period. And that made it a 2-1 hockey game with the Avs trailing by 1. And that was just their second shot of the period. They added another one and were outshot during the first 13-3. There were no penalties called during the first period. As Varlamov covers the puck, we got a face-off coming up in the Avs zone.
Well, there are 30 votes for the Vezina Trophy. The Vezina Trophy goes to that goaltender deemed to be the best in the NHL by the general managers of each. One vote for each team, and I think it's going to be interesting to see which goaltender. You could go to Bishop in Tampa Bay, no question. You could go to Niemi in San Jose. He's had a terrific year for a very good club there. Fleury has been good. Yeah,
Tuukka Rask had a good season.
He's had a terrific season for the Boston Bruins. But as we were saying the other night, if you throw in MVP part of it, it's pretty tough to not have a look.
To me, Peter, that could be where you make your decision. All those goaltenders that you mentioned have had wonderful seasons but who's been the most valuable to their team? And you can't argue that Varlamov's been the MVP for the Avalanche. To the point, Weber with a drive, and that gets blocked. Loose puck, shot by Fisher, gets blocked. Back to the point. Weber flings it across, shot! And Varlamov was able to get a stick on it to send the shot wide. Back to the line, pass up ice, Hornqvist tapped it, shot, and that one went off the shoulder. Matt Cullen's chance, hit the shoulder of Varlamov. It's been another strong start here for Nashville. They came out of the gate in a hurry to start the game, and they're playing a strong second period. They've added 3 shots already here in this second period of play. Bouncing puck between the circles. Scooped up by Jamie McGinn for Colorado. He'll chip it in and go to the bench for a change. Becca Rene out to handle the puck. And the pass over to Bartley. Sends it up the boards. Big hit by Malone on Bartley. And Clune comes out to center ice. Sissons makes the pass back into the Nashville zone. Malone on the forecheck. Pass around. Malone another hit. Well, Brad Malone has come out on this shift and thrown his body around, has made a couple of nice hits. It's going to be our first penalty of the game. We did not have a single penalty call during the first period. And this one going against the Avalanche, so Nashville should get their first power play opportunity of the contest.
Colorado number 8, 2 minutes interference.
And Jan Hejda into the penalty box.
We've been talking a little bit, Mike, about the idea for the Avalanche 0-2-1 in their last 3 games, and it's been especially teams that have let them down. They're 0-for-7 on the power play, and 4 power play goals against them in the last 3 games.
Nashville, well, they haven't been bad on the power play against the Avs this season, 3 for 9. But the guy to watch certainly is Shea Weber. 10 power play goals this season. Nobody that plays defense in the NHL better than Shea Weber in that category. And you can make an argument, he's got the best shot. Yossi's chance, tipped wide of the net. Peter, in your estimation, does he have the hardest shot in the NHL?
It's, if there's a harder one, I don't know who it is. I mean, maybe we're forgetting about something. And you know what it is too, Mike? It's the big, I think it's one of the best weapons of anybody because he gets it away quickly. He seems to hit the net as much as any of the real bombs that guys have in the league. He doesn't just shoot it hard. There's
a purpose to
it? Yeah. He looks, he finds the opening, he gets it through.
Well, one thing I would be shocked if we saw in this game, Peter, would be a shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
The Predators have not given up one. They're number 1 in the league, and the Avs have given up only 1 all season. They're number 2 in the league in terms of not allowing a shorthanded goal. But right now the Avs would love to score one. A hit on Cleach by Weber. And the puck travels back down to the Nashville zone.
And if you don't know who Shea Weber is, he's 6'4", 235 pounds of hard-hitting hockey player.
Pass over the line. Worked down the near side by Craig Smith. Avs steal. And a good play by McLeod gets the puck out of the zone. Or Talbot, excuse me. The puck comes back into the Nashville end. Michael Del Zotto. Head may have passed to center for Nick Spaulding. Over the line, makes the pass for Smith. Cuts across high in the slot. Then turns and rips the shot. That's stopped by Varlamov. And he'll cover with 7 seconds left in Hejda's penalty.
Well, with the Nashville Predators moving the puck back to the point so often, you got to be tough in front and move bodies. Hornqvist is a very good, effective player down low. Johnson eliminates him. But you saw Weber come across there, Mike. The one thing he did was really, he put his elbow right against his side. He didn't bring it up because he knows he's much taller than Cleach. You leave it up a little bit, the referee's going to do it. He just pulled it right into the side, and it was pure shoulder. That was a big-time hit.
He's back on the ice. Last few seconds of the power play, Weber is. Pass back to the point. Weber waiting, winds, and fires, and missed the net. And Hejda's out of the box. So the Avs killed the penalty. Predators had just 1 shot during that power play chance. For the Avs, still within 1. Johnson sends the puck towards the front of the net. It got tipped by the Predators. Smacked off the glass. Eric Johnson has it again. Makes the pass back to Johnson, a tip. And the puck comes out to center ice. Scooped up by Nystrom. Got a man going down the slot. There's the pass, and Stallberg had it kind of bounce on him at the last moment and could not control the shot. Right. And then it went wide. Nystrom in the corner. Put it back behind the net for Wilson. Cut off by the Avs defenseman, Hayda, who has the puck carrying out to center ice. To the red line. Shot into the corner. Ricochet to the side of the Nashville net. 13:45 left in the second. 2-1 lead for Nashville as the puck gets tipped out of play. And we'll be back. The Nashville Predators had a power play chance. Nice penalty killing by the Avs. And the Preds lead by 1 in the second. Let's look at some cold, hard facts brought to you by Coors Lights. And talking about some ice time for Nathan MacKinnon.
And the one thing that Patrick Waugh has done is he has made MacKinnon earn the ice time. And I really think that is the reason why the MacKinnon has developed so quickly. He has put him into situations. Did he earn it? Okay, he did. Well, then he gets a little more. Then when he got a little bit more, did he take that and did he use it well? He's been in center. He's been primarily at right wing since some of the big injuries to the Avalanche top guys like Parento and Tanguay. But like he's more and more ice time all the time.
Peter going to throw a stat at you that's going to really jinx Nashville. They have the best record in the NHL when they lead after one period. They're 21-1. They lead after one. Best in the NHL. There's the jinx right there.
There's the jinx. Now, well, we got the shutout out of the way, so let's work on that. But for Pekka Rinne, Mike, this is, you're sitting going, wait a minute, is the dam going to burst here at some point? Because it's hard to stay in a game when you've only had 4 shots on goal.
The second shot that he faced went in, albeit a brilliant shot by Landeskog. Same score we had at the end of the first period. It's still 2-1 in favor of Nashville as the puck is chipped into the Colorado bench and out of play.
Well, when you're looking at the Avalanche right now, this is a team that you start to push yourself. Come on, guys. We got to get ourselves into this game. We're only a play behind, and you're going to have playoff games and big games down the stretch, Mike, where it's going to be looking like the other team is the better club, but you got to keep pushing, finding ways to make that next play. They get the next one, Mike, we're all even. It doesn't matter how many chances teams have had.
And if the Avalanche, you know that you're a better scoring team than the Nashville Predators are. Dumped in, Varlamov will set it behind the net. Hayda makes the pass. Pushed up the boards for Tyson Barrie. Trapped along the wall, the puck comes free. Cullen's pass taken away by O'Reilly. Out to center ice, and it bounced back for Duchesne. He cuts across. His shot into the legs of Ryan Ellis. Blocked behind the net by the Predators. Worked to the near side. Carried up the wing. It bounced head for Fisher. Pushed the puck to center ice. Back into the Avs end. Slapped off the boards by Hayda. In the middle circle, Mike Fisher makes a sharp pass down the slot intended for Cullen. That one zipped past him. Played back up the wall. Duchesne chipping at it. Reaching in with the puck. Freed up along the near side. Wilson has it for Nashville. Pass into the low slot. Jumped away from Wilson. Knocked back out through center ice. Handled by Bartley. 12 minutes left to go in the period. Pass to center. During that first period, Predators had 13 shots. 8 of them came from the defenseman.
Well, there was a definite game plan. Crash down low, get the puck out to the point, waste no time, get it on net.
Johnson's pass. Stastny leads Barrie through the neutral zone. Pulls up, shoots the puck across the ice. Smacked back into the corner. Jarnkrok. And the pass through the middle zone. Taken back by the Avs. Landeskog cuts across, trying to drop it back towards Landeskog. Shot, score! We're tied up at 2. Gabe Landeskog just rifled one in, and the Avalanche have come back to tie this game at 2. That's 2 goals on only 5 shots for the Avalanche, but nonetheless, they have tied it up with Landeskog's second of the game.
Great puck movement by the Avalanche, and for Patrick Waugh, he shifted the lines a little bit. He put Stastny with McGinn and Landeskog. and move McKinnon on Duchesne's line. Nice little pass here, and Mike, you see the importance of Paul Stastny to this lineup. When he's not in the lineup, the team does not move the puck as well as when he is in the lineup. He's a good passer, smart passer. He has made 2 tremendous passes to Landeskog, and now you're energized on the bench, and you have to know if you're Nashville, you're down a little bit.
So now we're tied up at 2, 11-16 remaining. We'll have another face-off. Gabe Landeskog, and we talked about it at the start of the show, how the captains, Landeskog and the alternate captains, Stastny and McLeod, so important for this team. And Stastny and Landeskog have done their part with the offense.
And you look at Stastny now with a couple of assists, Mike, that gives the Avalanche 5 guys with 50-plus points.
Gabe Landeskog, second of the game, 23rd of the season. Let me show you the Subway scoring summary at 8:41. Assisted by Stastny. Broken up by the Avalanche. Bordeleau racing back to center ice. Game tied up at 2. Got around the boards. Pekka Rinne, who made 29 saves, did not allow a goal in his last outing against Chicago. Has faced only 5 shots, but he's given up 2 goals.
Well, in his previous 3 starts, Mike, he had allowed 4+. So he's still working off some of the rust.
Malone makes another hit, that time decking Rich Clune. Malone has made his presence felt. Long pass through center for McLeod. Backhands it wide of the Nashville net. Puck travels up the boards, back to the high slot. Sent down by Barry for Talbot, and the glove save made by Rinne.
Well, for Brad Malone, whenever you're talking to Malone, number 42 on the left as we're looking at the screen, Mike, you talk to him and he knows what his role is when he comes up with the Avalanche. I think when he first got up with the Avalanche, he was hoping that it was going to be a little bit more of a scoring situation. But I think he realizes now, hey, wait a minute, there's a role that I can play, and then maybe I'll work into that.
Shot by Barry, missed the net. Pinball back behind the cage. Carey picks it up, he shoots and shoots high. Back around the boards. Paul Carey won a couple of national championships with the Boston College team. Puck comes around the wall, out to center ice, chased down by Holden. Looked ahead for Duchesne. Finds McKinnon with O'Reilly. McKinnon still with the puck. Pass back towards O'Reilly. Walking in, got some room. He shoots. Glove save made by Rinne. So for the Avalanche here in the second period, they get a goal from Gabe Landeskog, his second of the game, and we're tied at 2.
With his 2 goals tonight, Gabe Landeskog has set a new career high, this just being his 3rd year. He has 23 goals now. He had 22 goals his Calder winning first year in the National Hockey League, but now 23, 35 assists, career high, 58 points now, obviously a career high. So Landeskog continues to just grow into the role and grow as a hockey player.
And he's back on the ice for this face-off along with Stastny and McGinn. Puck rifled around the boards by Nashville. And sent through center ice. Avalanche on it. Handled by Eric Johnson. 2-2 with 9:20 left in the second. Backhanded across and off of Nate to the near side boards. Tipped by Hornquist to center ice. Landeskog will chase it down. Long pass across. Stastny makes the handoff for Eric Johnson. His pass gets blocked. Rolling towards the front of the net, coming back, sliced away by Landeskog. Kept in at the blue line by Nashville, but a tip gives the puck back to the Avs. Jamie McGinn skeets in, coming wide. He shoots, blocker save made by the Nashville goaltender, Pekka Rinne, and then the puck is flung over the glass and out of play. The luxury has an address. Cooney Lexus invites you to see the full line of Lexus all-weather drive sedans and luxury utility vehicles for 2014. They're available at Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village and Colorado Springs.
Avalanche starting to spend a little more time in Nashville's zone. We're looking a little bit more to our right than we were earlier in this period.
Face-off controlled by Nashville. Race to the puck to the corner. Malone, Bordeleau, Carey with the puck. Into the corner. Bordeleau after it, he's got it. Centering pass. Bloom able to bat the puck to center, but run down by Malone. Malone catches up to the puck, sends it in. And out of the net to play the puck. Bounced up ice. Del Zotto's pass off the boards for Stallbury. Skates in, gets checked. Sissons shoots the puck down the boards, had it blocked. Sissons still with it, and hooks it off the boards back into the corner of the Avalanche zone. Sarch gets hit, fends that off, puts the puck off the boards, and gets it out of the zone. Coming back toward Ekholm. Mattias Ekholm looking to make a play. Comes across for Bartley. The Nashville defenseman shoots it ahead. Back into the Avalanche zone. Behind the net. Centered in front for Bourque, but it was tipped by Johnson. Oh, was in a good spot there, and Johnson wisely was able to get in front of that pass. 7.5 to go in the period. 2-2. Lobbed out to center. A tip by Smith of Nashville. And the puck picked up by Bourque. It's stick check. Works it into the corner. Centering try. Blocked. Bounced free and shot through the crease, but wide by Smith. Got by Ellis. Hit a skate. And caroms out to center ice. Ellis at the red line. Lifts the puck ahead. It'll drop down to the Avalanche zone. Waved away. Goes back to the Preds. Bounce pass down the boards to the half boards. And a struggle for the puck along the boards. Comes free. Nystrom coming in. Trying to back in. And it comes in front. The shot taken by Wilson is stopped. Back to center ice. Slammed in from center by Ekholm. Rolling around the boards. Falling to Wilson. Reversing. Makes the pass. Nystrom picks it up for Nashville. Comes all the way back towards the blue line. Still with the puck. Nystrom's shot got tipped wide. Wilson picks it up for Nashville. His shot blocked. And Holden for Colorado. Flangs the puck off the glass and down the ice. No icing. It's been waved off. Back around the boards. Pass up ice. Shut down by Wilson into the Colorado zone. Benoit's pass goes to Sarch. Dumped into the corner. O'Reilly for Colorado. Dropped it for Duchesne. Picked by Cullen for the Preds. Bodies banging along the inboards. Finally flung out to center with a backhand by Weber. Nashville gets called for icing with 5:29 to go in the period. Game tied at 2.
Now for the Colorado Avalanche, you look at the balanced scoring that they have. You've got these are 5 of your top 6 forwards right now. Of course, we talked about P.A. Parento. We talked about Tanguay being out of the lineup. The guy that's in that top 6 mix is Jamie McGinn, who's got 18 goals for the Avalanche and a career high for him as far as points. So that's where the offensive balance is for the Avs.
McGinn's wrist shot caught by Rene. Referee looking to see if we're going to have a television timeout or not. Still looking over, see if the red light's coming on. Apparently not. 5:26 to go. 2-2 game. And shots are starting to even up a little bit. 18 for the Predators. They've had 5 in this period for the Avalanche. They've had 7 in the period. Now the red light has come on. The referee has come over. Let's see if we're going to have a timeout or not. And apparently we are. So they were lining up for the face-off, but we're going to take that timeout now. We'll be back. More second period play from Nashville with the game tied at 2.
Tied at 2 here in Nashville. The Avalanche with the last couple of goals in this game, but you look at how difficult this Central Division is. When everything's split off during the, we saw with the the teams were going to be in each of the divisions last year and how it was going to work. I think a lot of people thought that the Pacific Division was going to be that outstanding division. But look, throughout the Central, no club is under 500. Nashville right now sits at 500, and they're in 7th spot. So it has been a tough one. The Avalanche, 1 game remaining against Central Division foes. That's the St. Louis Blues.
The number 1 team.
The number 1
Central
team,
Division.
exactly.
Here we go, more second period play. Cullen cutting across, he shoots, he scores! He walked right in on Varlamov as close as he could get, Peter, and then went top shelf. It was a pretty looking shot from Cullen, but he got as close as he possibly could before he shot it.
Cullen, who has his one and only hat trick in the NHL against these Avalanche when he was with Carolina, and it's like he just skated right past the defenseman. It was a nice little chip off the wall, but he just walks right in. He picked up as a free agent this year to add some scoring. Had 4 points in the game against Calgary a couple games ago, but that was just, it looked like the Avalanche kind of lost him as he just sort of burst up the left side.
It makes it 3-2 for Nashville with 5 minutes left in the period. And for Nashville, that's got to feel pretty good because you had to be reeling a little bit. You're up 2-0, completely outplayed the Avs in the first period, but now you're in a tie. Then you're in a tie game. So Cullen's goal, big for Nashville. Now the Avalanche got to come back and tie this one down by 1. A shot, save, rebound, bouncing. It comes behind the net. Pass in front. What a save by Varlamov! Wow, point blank chance, and Varlamov comes up huge. Dumped into the corner. Scooped up by Talbot. Well, those are those kind of saves right there. That is just huge for the Avalanche. Brought through center ice by Bourque. Going to drive down the near boards. Puts the puck behind the net. Those are those kind of saves Varlamov's been making all season, keeping you in the game. Bartley, long pass across, skip towards the net, and Varlamov makes the safe play by covering the puck.
For Nashville, they have created so much positive offense from in and around the back of the net against the Avalanche in tonight's game, whether it's winning a battle, getting it back to the point, or just getting the puck out front. And Varley has to make a huge save as he comes all the way from his left, all the way across to rob the Nashville Predators. Because you talk about a stab in the heart for the Avalanche. That one goes in.
Sent by O'Reilly deep into the Nashville end. Now less than 4 minutes to go in the period. McKinnon chasing the puck along the wall. Dropped it for O'Reilly. Wilson steals away the puck for Nashville. Skating out to center ice to the red line. Over the line with the puck. Cutting around. His shot knocked down by Barry. Wilson gets it back. Has the puck. Turns. Push the puck to the corner for Spaulding to take. Squished up against the boards. The puck comes free. Back towards the point. Shot by Yossi. Bouncing puck. Wilson ducks behind the net. Trying to come out in front. Pass. Bought the ski to McKinnon. Centered out in front. And it bounced off of Varlamov, and Holden shoots the puck out to center. Dumped back the other way by Weber. Scooped up by McKinnon. Cuts in. Gives to O'Reilly. His shot on goal. And Rename had to make the save. And Nashville gets called for icing with 3 minutes left in the period. Match the intensity you see on the ice tonight with the new Overwhelming Wealth Scratch game from the Colorado Lottery. With 3 chances to win an instant $1 million, butterflies are guaranteed.
I think Nashville has taken their time out. See Semyon Varlamov, Mike, and where he sits amongst goaltenders in the league, and statistics are interesting. You can run them any way you want. But, you know, you look at the goals against average, just sits at 14th in the league. But he's had some nights where, you know, there's been some big numbers. But the majority of games for the Colorado Avalanche this year, it has been lots of shots and lots of saves by Semyon Varlamov.
So that's when he plays his best. Yep. 21 shot for the Predators with 3 minutes left in the second period. And they lead the game 3-2. Right after the draw, the puck comes to the glove of Rinne, and we'll have another face-off in the Nashville zone.
Well, that allows Nashville, that face-off win, to get this group off the ice, another group on the ice. So for Patrick Roy, he changed up his lines also.
Malone take the face-off against Colton Sissons. Win on the draw, shot by Johnson, sends the puck wide of the net. Carey going to come out of the corner with the puck. Dropped it, Sissons. Held there by Malone. Bordeleau arrives for the Avalanche. Bartley for Nashville comes into the pile, and the puck up the boards. Hayda doing his best to hold it in. Pass behind the net for Bordeleau. Going to cut his way in front, back to Johnson. Shot goes wide of the net. Stallbury after it. Hayda charging down the boards. The Avalanche doing a nice job of holding the puck in the Nashville zone on this shift. Over to Bartley, well, the Avs really aggressive. Finally flipped out to center ice by Nashville. Sarge shoots it across. Lifted into the corner. Comes back behind the net. And the handoff. Ellis up ice for Clune. Off his stick. And ran back in. When sliding up against the board. But then the Avs have got it. McGinn going to come out in front. It's into the sweater of Sissons. Banked it, but not out of the zone. Benoit's pass tipped to the corner. Stastny's got it. This is the line that has accounted for the Avs goals. Shot, and Rinne just stretched out in time with that left leg to make the save, and then was able to cover the puck before the Avs were able to get to it.
I think maybe Rinne's best sequence of this game, because it's good work by this line that has been the offensive catalyst for the Avalanche here tonight. And the first goal came with McKinnon on this line. The second goal came with McGinn. As between periods, Patrick Roy kind of shuffled his right wingers and has proven to come up large for the Avalanche as far as the Stastny line.
Duchesne take the face-off for the Avs. Trying to make sure that his winger, McKinnon, was outside the face-off circle. There was a quick pause before we resume action on that face-off. O'Reilly worked against the wall. The puck out to center ice. And a steal by Nashville. Pass up ice for Cullen. Got a man down the middle. Cullen shoots and missed the net. He's back behind the cage. Cullen centered for Fisher. Back to the point. Slid across for Josi. His shot goes wide. Cullen centered out in front. The Avalanche have got it. 1:15 left to go in the second period. Vice for Duchesne. Push the puck towards the corner. And behind the net, Josi. Cullen pass to center ice. Rolls into the Avalanche zone. We're in the final minute of the period. They have scored in the first period in the final minute. Looking to try to tie it up. This game right now being led by Nashville 3-2. Dumped in center ice by Ekholm. Puck comes around the boards. Nashville trying to hold it in. The puck comes free. Avalanche have got it. Pass off the boards out to center. And it's tipped into the Nashville bench out of play with 35 seconds left in the period.
And as we've always talked about it, and it's just something for the Colorado Avalanche. Mike, there's so many games coming up. You need to have this balance. For Patrick Roy, he's gone away from the 7 defensemen and having Barry be a forward in some of the games. Barry played back on defense in tonight's game.
And Nate Gannon scratched tonight, along with Brian Wilson. The 2 defensemen out as healthy scratches. Nashville moves the puck. That's offside. And we got a whistle with 25 seconds left to go in the period.
Well, just a quick note. We had a chance to talk with David Poile today, general manager of the Nashville Predators, and I know how many people had said best wishes. He had one of the worst things I've ever seen in a hockey situation. He was standing the runway in Minnesota, and he got a puck right in the eye. He has not yet regained sight in his right eye, and is just now he can't fly, and it's he showed me.
Obviously, as the leader of the U.S. Olympics, wasn't able to go to Sochi after helping pick that U.S. team. I mean, you put all those out. Think about that. You put all those hours, all that effort into selecting that team, helping to select that team. You're the leader, and then you don't get to go.
Oh, he showed me the picture that his son took the next day. I had to turn away. I mean, it was horrible. So hopefully it is going to be he looks good now, but it's still a long way from being back to where he wants to be.
Puck tipped away in the center circle, rolls into the Avs zone. Final seconds of the period. Tick off. There's the horn, and we've come to the end of the second period. The teams exchange goals. Landeskog at 8:41, second of the game, tied the game at 2, but then Matt Cullen with a pretty shot at 14:43 for his 8th of the year has given Nashville the lead to take to the third period.
And for the Avalanche, you know that this is a Nashville club that's desperate. So they're going to have to come up with their best period of this game in the third.
All right, after 40 minutes here in Nashville, the Predators leading the Avalanche by a score of 3-2. Landeskog's got both the Avalanche goals tonight. Stay tuned for highlights and more on the Subaru Intermission Report. The Nashville Predators lead the game 3-2 as we get ready to start the third period of play here in Tennessee. Well, Peter, tell me what we've learned so far in this game. This is brought to you by CSU Global.
Well, I think there's 3 things. One, Varley is a terrific goaltender. We've known that all season long. Number 2, the Avalanche are a resilient hockey club. And I think 3, you've got your leadership. We talked about it before the game. Landeskog and Stastny, those 2 captain, assistant captains playing together that have offensively kept the Avalanche in this game. Great play on the first one, even a better one on the second one. Landeskog, 2 perfect shots. You don't very often beat Pekka Rinne, Mike, from those areas where he just beat him as cleanly as he did. Those were just 2 snaps by Gabe Landeskog, and he and Stastny continue to have that real chemistry between the 2 of them.
But it's Duchesne's line who begins the third period for the Avalanche. The puck shot around the boards and into the Nashville zone. Here we go. Third period underway. Predators lead by a goal. Up 3-2. Matt Cullen's goal at 14:43 from Ryan Ellis and Mike Fisher. Fisher now on a 3-game point streak for Nashville. And that goal would put the Preds back ahead. Race to the corner. Jarnroth rolls the puck up the boards, punched ahead by Smith into the Colorado zone. Both teams want to change up their forward line. As Duchesne comes back to get to the puck, he'll drop it, and he's headed off to the Avalanche bench. Jumping on, Paul Stastny. Andre Benoit, as defenseman, hammers the puck around the boards. Tipped at the line, but scooped up by Landeskog. Skates over the line with the puck. Threw it across the crease. Benoit pinches in. He shoots. Stopped by Rinne, and he covers the puck. And then Cullen down on the ice. Is he hurt? Well, he's slow in getting up. All of a sudden, Peter, I saw him coming out of the corner just on the ice.
I was watching the play in front of the net, and Cullen, he'll be on the left side of the screen. Oh, and he and Benoit collided, and he went down. And he is
right there. That was shoulder to head.
And he's going right to the locker room.
That's his goal. And put the Predators ahead. And their lead right now 3-2. We're early in the third period. Sarch, drop pass, shot, and blocker save made by Rinne on that chance by Gabe Landeskog.
Good play by Sarch there. As you see, Colorado Avalanche go all season long have really benefited from their defensemen probably jumping up into the play. You see, Mike, what it does now, it's a 4-on-3 situation. Landeskog's able to get that shot. It seemed to go right off either the glove or the helmet of Pekka Rinne, and this has been, without question, the Avalanche's best line with Stastny.
Another win for the Avs on the faceoff. Predators came into this game third best team in the NHL in faceoff. Shot saved by Rinne. One of his best of the game.
Oh, Talbot had it. I mean, what a terrific shot.
Wilson held by Holden. And the puck squirts free. Del Zotto makes the pass. Bartley slams the puck into the Colorado zone. Yanked off the glass by Varlamov. And pass comes through the middle, back into the Nashville end. Bartley with McLeod forechecking. Pass behind the net, Del Zotto. Pushed the puck to center. Back to Del Zotto, to the Avalanche line, shoots the puck into the corner. Muscled up the wall by Johnson, stolen away. Bork circles behind the Avs net. Johnson on him, pass behind the cage. Greg Smith, Colin Wilson are there. Back for Bork. Along the wall, good work by O'Reilly. He gets checked, and the puck flung out to center ice. Pushed to the Nashville blue line. Pass up the wing in front of the Avs bench. Sent across for Smith. He shoots, had it blocked. Gets the rebound back to Weber. He shoots wide of the net. Back around the boards for Yossi. Sends it behind the Avs net. Circles and rims up the near side. Duchesne flings the puck. Blocked by Weber. Back into the corner. Hayda for the Avalanche. And Bork took it away. Moving along the end boards. Hayda held in front of the net. And the puck comes free. Poke checked. But then followed and carried to center ice. Quick pass for O'Reilly. Back for Benoit. The Avs defenseman shoots. Had it blocked. And Craig Smith comes back for Nashville.
It's a couple times now for the Avalanche defenseman. They're jumping up into the play.
Nashville's pass up the wing, carried by Fisher. Bouncer wide of Varlamov. Dropped in the corner. Holden. Fisher took it away. Makes the handoff to Hornquist. Pass back to the point. Ekholm cutting in. He shoots, and it's stopped by Varlamov. And he'll hold it for a faceoff. Visit your local Kia retailer today and get great lease and APR deals for qualified lessees and buyers. On Kia's full line of quality vehicles, go to ColoradoKiaDealers.com and get all the details.
Well, 9 other games are on the NHL, Mike, tonight, and there are so many games that have that playoff implications. It's going to be a mad scramble to see who's where when tonight's over.
Bordelot pushed the puck ahead, deep into the Nashville end. Carey after the puck, trying to center, had it blocked. Tip back behind the net. Malone, shoved by Del Zotto, staying with the puck. Malone still with it, working hard into the corner. Behind the net, off the stick of Carey.
This line's been very effective for the Avalanche. They've pinned Nashville in their zone 3-4 times tonight.
They've done some good ice time in this contest as well. Talbot, moments ago, had a great scoring chance, but denied as Rene made one of his better saves in the game. Slapped around the wall. Wilson going to chip it by Hayda. A little support from Cleach. Chip back into the corner. Talbot from behind the net. Comes out, he shoots, and a kick save made by Rene. A couple of times Talbot has had some opportunity around the net, and Rene stopped. Up the wall, Spaulding from Wilson to the red line, fights off a check, and Cleach back for the puck, able to punch it behind the net. Hayda will carry the puck to center. Just under 15 minutes remaining in the third period. Score has not changed since the start of the third. Nashville leading 3-2. Eric Johnson lobs the puck to the corner. Preds on it, moving out to center ice. Pass for Hornquist, got his pocket picked from behind, but then followed up, and Nashville is offside. But you see that speed of McKinnon not only helps the offense, it can be good on defense. He came back and broke it up.
Well, let's have a look at the Western Conference. This has been updated with the games that have been finished now, and you can look at, you know, what are the Avalanche first and foremost looking at? They're looking at Dallas with 79 points. That would be the club that the magic number would be situated for. That would be a situation for that. They're sitting right now, like, you know, a good 15 points ahead of Dallas. Minnesota plays tomorrow night against Vancouver. Vancouver comes to Colorado the next night.
Duchesne cuts in, he shoots, and the puck hugged against the chest by Pekka-Rinne. And will face off in the Nashville zone.
And of course, in the wild card situation, you know, the two wild card teams, the team with the lowest number of points will play the team with the highest number of points, even if they have to move from one division to the other. And once they're inside the division, Mike, I finally got it figured out. You stay in that bracket. There is no reseeding. Once you're in a bracket, you're in a bracket.
Shot goes wide of the net. That was Barry trying to hit the net. Peter, so far tonight, Avalanche have had only one shot on goal by their defenseman. Only one.
Yeah, and that's usually a big number that the Avalanche have.
Yeah. Landeskog moving in, coming down the wall. Pass back behind the net. Worked free by Stastny, but then blocked Ellis. Nashville defenseman couldn't clear it out of the zone. Avs nice job holding it in. Holden coming in. He shoots a miss. And the rebound comes off the backboard. Chipped out towards center ice. Pushed ahead by Hornquist. Barry going to slow him down. Hornquist batted the puck and got a shot away. And the referee, did he say he played it with a high stick?
Yep.
Oh boy. We'll be back. More third period play from Nashville. Let's answer the Did You Know question, brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. Which teams played the longest game in NHL history back in 1936? Wings and Maroons. Montreal Maroons.
That was a goaltender at the end of the game. A 90 save shutout.
Oh, poor Normie.
90 saves over the course of 2 days.
He just laid down at the end. Cutting in, shot saved by Varlamov. Back around the boards. Oh, and it gets by the point. Now it's a race. Talbot hustling, but Del Zotto got to the puck first. Wings it down the ice. Kick back in. Pass up ice. Kicked off a skate of Spaulding into the Colorado zone. Benoit sends it off the glass on a hop out to center. Pushed through the middle circle. McLeod smacks the puck into the Nashville zone. And Rinne will set it behind the net. Outlet pass. Carried to center ice. Yarnrope to the line. Coming down the boards. Johnson took it away for Colorado. Bumped around the wall. McKinnon spins, protects the puck, makes a pass across for Hayda. And Johnson ends up with the puck. Pass up ice for Duchesne. Skimmed off his stick. Smith for Nashville. Back over the line. Dropped it. Shot! And a nice save made by Varlamov. Pass back to the point. McKinnon, nice play to get his stick in the way. Sprints in. Throws to the boards. Squeeze there. Protects the puck well. Makes the pass. Broken up by Smith. And he's able to chip the puck off the boards and out. Back to the Avalanche zone. Pass up ice for O'Reilly. Behind him for Hayda. Pass to center ice. Stastny with 12 minutes left in the third. Put the puck back behind the net for Johnson to take. Headman pass to center ice. McGinn leads Landeskog over the line. Dropped it. Shot by McGinn. Misses. Up the wall. Tipped into the corner. Back to the point. Shot. Glove save made by Rinne on that chance by Paul Stastny.
You know, Gabe Landeskog was nice enough to join us between the second and third, and he was saying what we were talking about, Mike, in that first period. Had it not been for the work of Semyon Varlamov, a 2-1 deficit could easily have been 3 or 4. As he was, I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. Cullen's the only goal that was scored between the first period and now, as that stands right now, the difference in the game. Cullen, I have not seen him, Mike. Have you seen him return?
I have not. Puck is still free, then covered at the post by Rinne. Early in this period, shouldered by Benoit to the head of Cullen as they collided. And Peter, he's on the ice right now.
No, is he good? Well, that's boy, because I'll tell you, we just saw Seth. I just saw Seth Jones downstairs, you know, standing rookie for Nashville Preds, and he's out with a concussion-like situation. So you just hate it.
Stastny moves the puck around the wall. dropped in the corner. Fisher, Stastny going at it. Holden pinches in. Holden coming along and the goal line in. Backhand, stop, rebound, save by Rene right on the line. Right there. Rene makes the save as the Avs crash the net, but Stastny and Holden could not get it by the big goaltender.
As this line continues to really be the best, I mean, the Avalanche's best offensive line. Rene's strong right there, but Holden coming in from his point. He's looking for his 9th goal of the season right there. That was just a great effort. Strong save by Rene, but real good effort by Nick Holden coming off the wall.
Face off won by the Avs. Back to Benoit. Shot blocked in front of the net. Scooped up. Whipped around by Carey. And chipped by Clune. Didn't get out of the zone. Avs doing a nice job keeping the puck in the Nashville end and putting some pressure on. Carey feeds back to the point for Benoit. Winds and shoots. And it blocked. And the Avs again on the puck, keeping it inside the zone. Behind the net, Clune collides with Sarch, and Clune goes down to the ice. And back behind the net, Clune takes a hold of the puck for the Preds. Chip out to center ice, but the Avalanche not allowing Nashville to get back in. This game's starting to tilt a little bit back towards the Nashville end as the Avs applying some pressure. Talbot again into the zone with a puck. Shots, glove save made by Rene with a lot of traffic in front of him.
Now the defensemen are starting to get involved for the Avalanche. Now they're starting to get some time because the Avalanche forwards are just driving. They're forcing the players back into the Nashville zone. Just good hard work by the Avalanche forwards on these situations. Mike, the shots are sure getting a lot closer now, 25-21.
Here in this period, Nashville with 3 and the Avs with 9 shots. At center, brought in by Fisher. Still with a pass, and loose puck comes through the crease but wide. Back behind the net, Fort and Smith for Nashville. It's Smith who has it, back to the point for Josi. He scored 2 goals in the first period. Weber coming down the wall with the puck, reaches back for it. Still with it, slaps at it. Gets it to the side of the net for Smith. Pass in the slot, shot by Fisher, he missed it. Back into the corner, Fisher with the puck. Pass to the point, shot by Weber. Blocker save made by Varlamov. He had a clear look at it. Back to center ice, Josi with the puck. Tipped back into the Nashville zone, 9:30 remaining. Across the halfway point of the third period. Nashville up by a goal. Weber sizzles a shot down the ice. Varlamov sends it back around the shelf. Kept it at the point. Shot by Ellis. Gets partially blocked by Stastny. Broke his stick on it on that block. But Landeskog has the puck. Long shot. Glove save by Rene. And we'll be back for a third period play from Nashville. Preds lead it by a goal.
Well, I showed you the West. Now here's the East, and look at the wild card. There are 4 clubs tied, Mike, with exactly 80 points. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are in free fall. They've lost 6 in a row. And can you imagine Toronto Nation tomorrow morning in the papers and the press and all that? Oh, it'll just be pandemonium. Columbus won a big one against Detroit tonight, 4-2, to move back into that wild card situation.
And next week, the Avalanche will be in Columbus to face
Columbus.
the Blue Jackets. And that's a team now the Avs only face twice a year because Columbus has changed conferences. And the Avs already have beaten Columbus this season at home. A hard-fought game against the Blue Jackets.
That was a hard-hitting hockey,
wasn't it?
Yep.
And so the Avs will be in Columbus next week. Avs dump the puck into the Nashville zone. Preds up by a goal, but Avalanche have been having a good third period. Lots of pressure, time spent in the zone. And starting to get some shots from the defense as well. Like the Avs have had 14 shot attempts by the defense in this game. Only 2 have gone on the mark, but they're getting some chances. Pass over the line towards Cullen. Tip the puck behind the net. Hornquist trying to hold up Eric Johnson. Stastny protects the puck. And the Avalanche centerman comes wide for Hayda. Rink wide across his own zone for Eric Johnson. Getting into the neutral zone. Shoots the puck in. Slowed up by the goaltender. Talbot gets to the puck. Hit by Del Zotto. Then Duchesne and Wilson to the corner. Battle for the puck. Duchesne trying to get free. Nice pass for Talbot. Moves behind the net with the puck. Cutting through and around to the far side. Pass stayed inside the zone according to the linesman. It was right there at the edge of the blue line. Put to the corner behind the net. Duchesne working his way in front. There's a chance. Oh, safe. Good, scored! Cody McLeod got it. He just tied the game at 3. Well, we talk about the leadership, the captains doing something tonight, and Landeskog with a couple of goals, and now McLeod with a game tire here in the 3rd period.
And I got to tell you right now, the Nashville Predators are not sure this puck didn't come out of the zone. Right there. Now remember, it's got to come all the way out, Mike, and it doesn't. It's going to come all the way out on the other side of the blue, and it doesn't. And Cody McLeod for his 2nd straight road game, Mike. He did it in Winnipeg. He tied the game, and now here tonight in Nashville, he ties it up.
What an effort. He was down on the ice, hooked the puck, got up, and then got that backhander in to score his 4th goal of the season, and the Avalanche have tied it up at 3 here in the 3rd period.
And Mike, we talked about it, the idea that the leaders have to be that tonight, and Landeskog's got 2 goals to the captain. The assistant captain, Paul Stastny, a couple of assists, and now Cody McLeod, the assistant captain, with the game-tying goal.
And he's not one of the captains, but Varlamov and his big saves in this game, keeping it close. Nashville at times with just some great effort and some great chances to score. But Varlamov, yeah, he's let in 3, but he really has shut the door on Nashville. It could be much more than 3 goals tonight. At center ice, Preds with the puck into the Colorado zone. Flip to the corner for Hornqvist. With the puck coming out of the corner, Hornqvist dropped it along the end boards. We show you the Kia scoring summary. Cody McLeod, 4th goal of the season, coming at 12:25, tying the game up at 3. And diving on top of the puck, Varlamov is able to cover to stop the action.
Well, this is a broken line in the sense that there was 2 lines. Duchesne was able to get on the ice. Talbot and McLeod were still on the ice, but they worked so hard. And I'll tell you, he didn't get a point on it, but Max Talbot has had a terrific game. He's just, look at that, snap that puppy.
I scored a goal. I don't want to use this again. Avalanche win the draw. It's McLeod moving out to center ice. Shoots the puck ahead. Puck gets blocked, tipped in the corner. Rolled around the far side. Well, you can just feel it coming here in the 3rd period. Great effort from the Avalanche, really applying pressure.
And Mike, I'm not sure that I was right there. This may be a line that Patrick Roy has gone with, because they're back out there. Duchesne in the middle with McLeod and Talbot.
Wilson, pass for the trailer! Oh, and it was deflected wide of the net. Boy, Nashville had a great chance. Wilson, pass in the slot, shot! And again, that aggressive play by Varlamov. He immediately came out to close the angle and makes another brilliant save. And Cody McLeod, earlier in the period, getting his 4th of the season, has tied this one at 3. The Avs win tonight. The CSU Global application fee will be waived tomorrow. CSU Global is the 100% online university where you can earn your bachelor's or master's degree. Apply now at csuglobal.edu.
Well, it wasn't looking very good for that situation tomorrow, Mike, early, but the Avalanche have fought back. And on this goal, with McLeod just working down low, Talbot down low, gets knocked down, finishes it off with just a great little backhander top shelf.
5:25 left in the 3rd. And the puck comes around the glass. It's gone out of play. So another face-off in the Nashville zone. Matt Duchesne getting an assist. So for Duchesne, assisting on that goal by McLeod. 46 assists with 68 points. It is now his career best in points, 68. And that's the most he's had in any season in the National Hockey League. Andre Benoit getting the other assist. He now has 20 assists this season. And center Cullen with the puck. Lead pass for Fisher. He got checked. Pass up ice for Landeskog. Tipped in. Ekholm around the wall for Cullen to take. Lifts the puck to center. 5 minutes left to go in the third. Pass across. Hayda. Out to center. Checked by Fisher. And a 2-on-1 develops for Nashville. Hornquist cuts in. Pass, tip, scored! All of a sudden, at the Avalanche blue line, a 2-on-1 developed. Odd man rush, and Nashville, which has had many of those chances, but they cash in and have gone back ahead with a 4-3 lead.
Oh, Mike, the Avalanche have the puck, and they just cough it up at the blue line right there and overextend, move away, and all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1 with the defenseman scrambling back again. And Nashville capitalizes in a game that the Avalanche were starting to take control of. Cullen gets his second, but it looked like a nothing play. And then all of a sudden it's 2-on-1 going the other way.
And Hornquist, he made a nice pass. Got around the defenseman to make that pass. And that's the third different player in this game with 2 goals. Cullen's second of the night. Hornquist and Weber assisting. Well, Peter, the only thing left now is for McLeod to get his second to tie this one. 2 goals from Josi, 2 for Landeskog, 2 for Cullen. McLeod's got 1, so he's due. Adds in the zone. 4:10 left to go. Scramble for the puck, worked out to center ice. Passed ahead, blocked at the blue line, shipped back the other way. Scooped in by Holden, he walks right in, and shot, he scores! Nick Holden! His 9th of the season, and he's just tied this one up at 4 with 3:59 left in the third period. This is unbelievable.
This may be, Mike, when you look at it, the signature goal of the year for the Avalanche as far as that. Every time you want to say, well, it doesn't go that way. They find some way to get it going. And Holden, who had a great chance earlier, we talked about what a good job Nashville had done is shutting down the Avalanche defense. And Holden, he loves this building. That's 3 goals in 2 games here. But more importantly for the Avalanche, they come right back after a sort of one of those heartbreaking goals where it just, there was no need for it. And then all of a sudden you're back even.
Dumped in towards Varlamov. So at the start of this game, one of the things we talked about was what a great goaltending matchup we were going to see.
And we know our hockey. Just like that kid Carlson for Ottawa can't play.
Well, 2 of the best goaltenders in the NHL, and each has given up 4 goals in this one.
I think, to be honest, for the Avalanche, it's been, for Varlamov, it's been not much real solid defensive effort or defensive support down low. And Holden just takes off. I mean, number one, what is he doing that far up the ice on the play? And number 2, did you see him just dart around?
Shot off the glove of Varlamov. Scrambled for the puck right at the side of the net. Covered by Varlamov. So 44 seconds, Peter, between goals when Cullen scored at 15-17. And then 44 seconds later, Holden ties the game back at 4.
Well, we've been in this building for a lot of games, Mike, that didn't have anywhere near this kind of excitement. This has been a fun game to watch early. It was all Nashville.
2 games here have been amazing.
This 5-4. It's going to be 5-4 at least anyway tonight.
Smith trying to center. Had a block by Johnson. Nick shot and off the heel of the stick. Blocked by McLeod. Flipped out to center. So 16:01. Holden getting his 9th goal of the season. Pass up ice. Delivered into the Avs zone. We're down the last 3 minutes here in the third period. Pass tipped by Talbot. Bartley for Nashville, coming up the middle. Cutting across, bounce pass at the line. Nashville delay offside. Ellis backing up into his own zone. Makes the pass. Through the middle, Hornquist. Blocked at the line. Avalanche have got it. Carried up ice by Stastny. Shot in. Stopped behind the net by Rene. Stastny makes the pass for McGinn. Back up the boards. Holden slaps the puck wide of the net. Lifted down the ice. Hornquist against Holden. Hornquist, oh, he took a stick to the face. And if there's blood, well, there's 2:11 left to go. There's at least a single minor on Holden. Doesn't look like Hornquist is bleeding, so it looks like it'll be a 2-minute minor, unless the referee sees something we can't see. Holden will argue, but he's headed to the penalty box, and Nashville gets a power play chance.
Here's Holden, comes across. Yeah. I mean, it's the toughest one for a defenseman because in actual fact, Holmquist kind of lifts the stick a little bit, but it pops right up into his mouth. And now, Mike, basically the rest of this game on a penalty kill for the Avalanche.
So 2-minute minor for high sticking at 17:49 on Holden. And Nashville 0 for 1 tonight in the power play, but they got number 6, Shea Weber, back there on the point. He's got 10 power play goals this season. He's their key. Nashville trying to control the puck in the Av zone. The pass goes into the corner. Dropped along the end board. Cullen centers, back to the point. Weber winds, makes the pass across for Yossi. Avs on Weber, trying to keep him from getting the puck. Cullen walking in. Back to the point for Yossi. A little pressure put on him. Over Weber. Back for Yossi. 1:30 left to go in the third. Save. And then Talbot finds an opening and clears. 1:15 remaining in Holden's penalty. Nashville on the power play. Nick Holden in the penalty box for high sticking. In a 4-4 game. Pass over the line. Shut around the wall by Fisher. Cullen catches up to it, fed back to the point. Weber still on the ice for Nashville. 1 minute left to go. Oh, that was a nice thing to happen for the Avalanche. That one shot by the point man. And now Nashville's got to try to break out of their zone again with 40 seconds left in their power play opportunity. Weber pass behind. Ellis going to slap the puck. It was tipped, slowed up behind the net. Johnson after it and clears it out. Another nice clear. Good job on this penalty kill for Colorado. Just 25 seconds left in Holden's penalty. Been outstanding on the kill. 30 seconds to go in the period. Ellis for the trailer. Up ice. Pass. Oh, broken up at the line. Pass does come across for Spaulding. He gets blocked at the line. Had a nice job. Just 5 seconds to go, and then a bad pass sends the puck back into the Nashville zone. Great job of penalty killing for Colorado. One last rush. Pass over the line for Ellis onside. 4 seconds to go in the period. And it's broken up by the Avalanche. And we are going to have overtime. So, Nashville not able to score in their power play. Avs did a terrific job killing the penalty. And we'll come back with the game tied at 4. We're going to have overtime tonight in Nashville. This overtime being brought to you by Groove Subaru on Broadway or online at grooveauto.com. So overtime in Nashville, Tennessee. Here are the team records in overtime. Look how good the Avs have been in overtime this year. 8-3 in overtime. Nashville is 3-3. Avalanche going against the trend where most of the teams have more shootouts than overtimes. The Avs, though, they get their games decided in overtime. And Varlamov as the goaltender, he's 6-2 in overtime games. So we go 4-on-4 hockey. The Avs will start with Duchesne, O'Reilly, Holden, who has a goal in this game, along with Tyson Barrie. The Avs win the opening faceoff. Smith, along with Yarnrook, Weber, and Yossi for Nashville. Duchesne works his way into the zone. Pass in front and tipped on goal. Duchesne working his way along, moving out in front, goes down to the ice, and the puck scooped up by Weber. Makes a sharp pass to center ice for Josi. Over the line with the puck. Trying to push it down the wall for Josi. Holden took it away, makes a pass out to center. Weber coming in, he winds, he shoots, but coming across was O'Reilly to tip that shot out of play. Time for What's on Tap, brought to you by Coors Light. March of the playoffs is on, just 10 games left, and the Avs will host Vancouver on Thursday night. We'll start our coverage at 6:30 here on Altitude Sports.
No Henrik Sedin on this road trip for the Vancouver Canucks as he was banged up in their last game.
Nashville wins the faceoff. Shot, blocker save made by Varlamov. Pass comes into the corner for Hayda to take. Up ice for Stastny, out to center. Tipped back in by Nashville. We played just about a minute of overtime hockey. Up ice for Landeskog. Handoff goes to Johnson, coming wide. Pass to Stastny. To Landeskog. Shot and stopped by Rene. He was going to play the puck, but then elected just to cover and get a face-off.
Well, Tyson Barrie has a couple of overtime game-winning goals for the Avalanche this season. And on that play, you saw Johnson jumping up. So the Avalanche defenseman in overtime, it's obvious, Mike, they've been given the green light to jump up into the play.
Face-off in the Nashville zone, and the Avalanche were at 67% winning face-off in the third period. Nashville gets the possession and begin their breakout. Here in overtime, 4-4 game. Shut in by the Predators. Talbot behind the net. Pass to Ellis. He winds, he shoots and missed. Into the corner for Wilson. Checked by Barrie. Wilson fights off the check. Still with the puck. Back around and behind the Colorado net. Pass in front for Benoit. Off the boards. Barrie to center ice. Barrie gets over the line. Barrie with the puck. Pass into the slot. Broken up momentarily. Avs still with the possession. McKinnon goes down to the ice. Pop back up. The puck comes free for Nashville. Craig Smith racing out to center. Weber just jumped onto the ice. He was going down the middle. Smith trying to hold on to the puck. Taken away by McKinnon. Talbot then makes a pass for Barrie. He cuts in. Shoots the puck around the board. Slowed up behind the net. We're halfway through overtime. Weber. It's pass for Josi. Speeds up through the neutral zone. Gives the puck to Smith. He shoots. Caught by Varlamov. And he holds it for a face-off with 2:19 left in overtime.
And, you know, obviously both teams get a point, but for the Nashville Predators, their hopes are like they're fading away fast with each win by the Dallas or Phoenix or those clubs that are ahead of them. I'm not sure they can survive just picking up the 1 point in this game.
Especially a game, Peter, they had the lead with 4 minutes left to go in the third period. When Holden scored, it tied up at 4, forcing this overtime.
And where was Varley the most valuable? When it was 2-0, he didn't let it be 3-0. And I think those are the situations for the Avalanche that were so key in this game.
The face-off, Fisher had the puck for a moment. O'Reilly took it away. Duchesne pushes it ahead for Erik Johnson. Swept from him. Pass behind the net by Weber for Josi. Duchesne pushed from behind but stays with the puck. 2 minutes left to go in overtime. Duchesne gives to Johnson. Turns. Cuts to the front. Blocked off, and the Preds have got it. Back in around by Weber for Josi. 1:40 remaining in overtime. Long pass at center ice. Carried by Ståhlberg. Going to work his way around. Gets behind the net, trying to center. Tipped into the corner. Cullen played it off the boards. And Ellis couldn't hustle quickly enough to get to the puck to hold it in. Back to center ice. Down the boards, falling. Handoff, Cullen. Nashville is offside.
Now, both teams are pretty cautious here in this overtime period. For the Chicago Blackhawks, Mike just went final, so they move now technically 5 points, 4 points ahead, I guess, of the Avalanche. As the Avalanche do get 1 point here tonight. The Avalanche hoping to get that extra one and keep it at 3.
Now, Nashville had already used their timeout earlier in the game. So Colorado has used their timeout with 1:20 left in overtime. Is this just a rest timeout? Because there doesn't seem to be any discussion going on the bench from the coaches.
Absolutely. For the Avalanche, here's Landeskog, who's, the captain of this hockey club. Your club is down 2-0. You're getting outplayed, and all of a sudden you go bang, bang, and you tie it up. That's what you're looking for from your top players, but also your captain. Then Cody McLeod with a huge goal for the Avalanche. They had fought so hard to give themselves a chance, and McLeod tied it. Nashville went ahead again, and then Holden tied it at 4. We know it for Patrick Roy. And this has been by so far the best pair for the Avalanche, Landeskog and Stastny. He was just giving them a little extra time for the one more good shift.
Landeskog, pair of goals and an assist, 3-point night for Landeskog, but we got an icing call. They're going to bring this face-off back into the Colorado zone.
Well, let's look at the Western Conference now after the games that have been completed. And as we talked about, there's so much going on all the time. After tonight's game, the Avalanche will be down to 10 games remaining. They sit, as you see right there, 5 points, but they have picked up 1 automatic point, looking for 2 in tonight's game.
Nashville wins the faceoff to the point. Josi drills one up. I don't know if that caught Varlamov off guard or he was screened because it seemed like it hit him, didn't it? Johnson to center ice. Stastny, Landeskog, saved by Rene. And the Preds going to move out to center ice. Cullen makes the pass behind. Josi finds Weber. Cross ice for Fisher. Couldn't get a hold of the puck. Taken away by Landeskog with just 30 seconds to go in overtime. Benoit twisting, finds Duchesne, 20 seconds left to go. Sprinting in, centering pass, blocked in front of the net. 10 seconds to go in the period. We're in overtime. Smith in over the line, in the slot, shot, and that hit Varlamov in the chest. And we are going to have the Groove Subaru shootout. That's right, overtime did not decide this game. We played 65 minutes of hockey. Coming up next, our Groove Subaru shootouts with a score of 4-4 after overtime. The Groove Subaru shootout is coming up next. Welcome to tonight's shootout, being brought to you by Groove Subaru. Well, the Avalanche, Peter, this will be the 7th time they have had a shootout involvement in the game this season. They are 3-3, but how do we get to this point? Goals in the 3rd period. Avs trailing by a goal. McLeod gets up, backhands it in, and the game is tied at 3. And then on a 2-on-1, Hornquist sets up Cullen for his 2nd goal. And it looked like maybe the Predators were going to go on to win this game, but just 44 seconds later, Holden shoots and beats Rene on the short side for his 9th of the season and 3rd goal in 2 games in this building. And Holden's goal was the last one we saw in the 3rd period. Here we go to the shootout. So the Avs are 3-3. Varlamov has been the goaltender in all 6 of the previous shootouts this season. So his record is 3-3. And for Pekka Rinne, here's his career numbers.
Both of these goaltenders have great patience and don't make a lot of mistakes. If there's one thing you can do on Pekka Rinne, sometimes, Mike, you can get him to drop and go top shelf. That is, now, certainly not all the time, but
Even then, he's a big goaltender.
Yeah, exactly.
And we see with Varlamov, he's been on his game in shootouts. How about this? Playing in his third NHL game. Kalle Järnkrok will attempt a shootout.
Michael, I saw him this morning. See if he doesn't go top shelf glove side.
Here he goes. Here he is. A rookie, third NHL game. He is sweeping back and forth, coming in on Varlamov. Wow! What a sweet move that was.
Wow.
Man, you're in your third NHL game, your first ever shootout attempt at this level. You look like you've been doing it for 10 years.
He was sweet this morning, and that was a great move.
Wow. Well, first shot attempt goes in. Duchesne will try to match it. He goes wide. Coming in, fakes, and I think, did the puck roll on him? Because he seemed like he had Rinne down, and the puck, I don't think it went as high as he wanted it to.
No, he bounced it right off the pad. Right here, does it just... It was one of those ones, if he could have it back, he would put it higher.
Next attempt is from a defenseman, Ryan Ellis. Ellis coming in with some speed, slowing down a little bit, and he just ran out of real estate. Varlamov held his ground and is able to make the save.
Ellis, look at Varlamov, how
so quick.
But how he gets to be so low and moving back and forth at the same time.
Amazing. Second attempt for the Avalanche. It is Ryan O'Reilly. He has had success. He loves to go wide. He did there. Slow down and score.
Oh, he's got a quick release. He has, of all the things that improved for Ryan O'Reilly since breaking into the league now 5 years ago, it's the release of the shot. It is now deadly. He just had the goalie frozen. The goalie just froze.
He loves that wide. I asked him about it, and he said he does that because it makes the goaltender have to move a little bit. It gives you a chance. It paid off. Another defenseman, Roman Josi, fakes and saved by Varlamov. Now the Avalanche can win if they score on the next attempt.
And as it should be in tonight's game, this would be perfect. Gabe Landeskog is up. He's been the best player for the Avalanche.
If he scores, Avalanche win the shootout. Landeskog for the win. Coming in, scores, and the Avalanche have done it. They have beaten the Nashville Predators on Gabe Landeskog's shootout goal, and Varlamov, after giving up the first one, made 2 consecutive saves, and then Landeskog snapped one by Rinne, and the Avalanche have won the Groove Subaru shootout.
What a tremendous win for this hockey club. It looked in the first period like they just couldn't get out of their own way. Varley kept them in it. Landeskog got a late one to get them back in, then tied it up. Then they fell behind, then they tied it up, then they fell behind, Mike, and tied it. It just went on and on for the Avalanche.
All right, Peter. Coors Molson, 3 stars of the game.
Oh, wow. That's, you have to go with Sylvain Varlamov just because he kept the Avalanche in the game early. Matt Cullen with a couple of goals. He was terrific for the Nashville Predators. And the star of the game, the captain of the hockey club, Gabe Landeskog, 2 goals, an assist, and the shootout game winner. Unbelievable.
The Avalanche get it done. 5-4. 2 games in this building, both end 5-4. Exciting, thrilling games in Nashville. Once again, the final score, 5-4, a shootout win for the Avs. Please join us again Thursday nights. Doesn't get much easier for the Avs. They'll be hosting the Vancouver Canucks, who are fighting for a playoff spot. We'll start our coverage at 6:30. Let's get you to the studio for the Auto Nation Locker Room Report.